So after 3 years of lifting weights at the gym, I got bored. Same machines, same workouts, same playlist on repeat. I decided to try calisthenics instead. And honestly, it was a humbling experience. I thought I was strong, but calisthenics made me realize how much I still had to work on. Fast forward 3 years later, my training looks completely different and I've unlocked some pretty cool skills I never thought I'd be able to do. So in this video, I'm going to share my 3 year calisthenics journey so far, what it took to get here, the struggles, the realistic amount of skills you can get in 3 years, whether or not it was worth it, and if you should start calisthenics. The journey. When I first got into calisthenics, I thought I'd be smart about it. I didn't want to jump straight into the skills. I wanted to build a really solid foundation first. So I spent most of my first year just getting strong. Weighted pull-ups, dips, pike push-ups, all that good stuff. My thinking was, if I'm strong, then the skills will come easier. But that's not how skill training works. You can get super strong in pike push-ups and still be terrible at a handstand. Skill training requires you to actually train the skill itself. You know, the drills, the balance work, actually being upside down and building that proprioception. And so initially I thought things would be pretty easy with the strength foundation I had already built from 3 years of working out at the gym and then the weighted calisthenics training. But as soon as I tried something as simple as a handstand, I was very quickly humbled. I realized I had to go back to square one and actually practice the skill itself if I ever wanted to get it. So I made it my mission to master the handstand first because personally I didn't think that a handstand would be that difficult because you just hang upside down. I just thought it requires some shoulder strength and then like a bit of balancing skills, which it does by the way, but it didn't sound too hard. And then of course actually trying to achieve that was like much easier said than done. So in the beginning there was honestly a lot of experimentation in the training because at the time I wanted to train a few different skills at the same time, like front lever, planche, handstands and muscle ups, but I had realized that it's really hard to make progress in all of them at the same time, so I had to scale it back and focus on 1 to 2 skills at a time, which was the smarter move. For me, the skills I chose were obviously handstands and muscle ups, and I followed a push-pull split. So handstand training days were push days and muscle up training were pull days. The program felt very different to gym workouts because like at the gym you do your sets, you get a nice pump, you feel the burn, and you know you're going to end up sore the next day. But then for handstand training, it just felt like I was wasting my time. I didn't really feel anything doing drills. I felt like I was just hanging upside down for no reason and wasn't making any progress, which was kind of demotivating at first. But I just kept showing up session after session, even when it felt pointless. And then I just crossed my fingers and hope for the best. And then slowly, the progress finally started to come. I started getting 5 second holds, which then turned into 10 second holds, 20 seconds, 30. And then at that point, I could be satisfied with the progress and fully tick off that I achieved my handstand. So it took me about 1 month to hold an ugly handstand and then about 3 months to achieve a nice straight freestanding handstand. So yeah, anyway, the transition phase took some time to get used to, but that's just how it goes with calisthenics. Then once you unlock one skill, you chase the next level. After I nailed my first solid handstand, I didn't just stop there. I started learning different handstand shapes, worked on handstand push-ups, pressed a handstand, and now I'm on the most frustrating challenge yet, the one-arm handstand. Injuries and lessons. One thing I didn't expect was how much my wrist would hurt. I actually did spend a lot of time on wrist warm-ups and mobility before every session, which definitely reduced the risk of my injury, but I made the mistake of training handstands every single day. My wrist never really got time to recover and heal, so I was constantly dealing with wrist pain and it was just awful. If you're just starting, definitely train your wrist, but also respect the recovery time. And that goes the same for learning any other skill as well. You really have to listen to your body so you reduce your downtime and risk of injury. Nutrition and body weight. Calisthenics is a very weight dependent sport, so I had to pay more attention to my weight than I ever did while lifting. I sit around 74 kilos, and for the most part, I try to stay lean or even lose a bit of weight when trying to chase new skills because being lighter really does make a difference, especially for moves like front lever and planches. And yes, I didn't really train legs, not because I hate leg day, but because having big legs actually puts you at a disadvantage for most advanced calisthenic skills. So I just keep my legs strong enough for health and balance, but my priority has been upper body strength. How many skills can you realistically achieve in 3 years? There are a few factors that play into this. For example, whether or not you have coaching, access to equipment, and how consistently you train. They all play a massive role in how many skills you can achieve. Personally, I didn't have any coaching. I kind of just taught myself, made a ton of mistakes along the way, and figured things out as I went. And so in the 3 years I've been training, I've been able to achieve obviously the handstand, L-sit, pistol squat, handstand push-up, 90-degree handstand push-up, press handstand, muscle up, slow muscle up, a sinking front lever, this one's still in progress, the human flag, kinda, back lever, and a straddle planche. So yeah, 13 skills in 3 years. Not too bad for someone who taught himself. It's definitely not the fastest, but something you'll learn is that there's always going to be people who get skills way faster than you. But as long as you actually enjoy the process of training, then it doesn't really matter what other people achieve. Was it worth it? Yes. For me, it definitely was worth it because it turned a limiting belief into a new belief. So for a long time, I really thought like I had no talent in life and I was trapped thinking that like I'm a useless human being and that I sucked at everything. But when I finally got my handstand, I had proven to myself that I am capable of learning and achieving something difficult that most people can't do, which then kind of snowballed into learning other calisthenic skills and even learning other difficult areas in life as well. It shaped my whole mindset in a positive way. So yes, it's definitely worth it. Should you start calisthenics? Look, calisthenics isn't for everyone. You really need to have a certain mindset for it. You actually have to want to do it. You can't really just do it because you want to jump from A to Z. There's still steps B, C, D, E, F, and everything else in between as well. You will have to learn them and you will have to be able to enjoy that process, because if not, you'll get frustrated pretty quickly and end up quitting when you don't see any progress. And that goes the same with pretty much anything in life. Trying to skip all the steps can lead to like injury and downfall and therefore hinder your progress. So yes, there will be certain occasions where you see people progress incredibly fast and skip a lot of steps, but most of the time these people are outliers and like, have been gifted by the gods. So if you're like me and you're not as gifted, then you got to learn to love the grind, accept and be okay with the boring parts and the plateaus. Then after that, calisthenics can be a really rewarding journey that you'll go on. Future goals. For me, I'll be taking things a bit slower going forward because I'm prioritizing other areas of my life right now, but I'll still be training mainly my one arm handstand and cleaning up my front lever. When I achieve those, maybe I'll make a video on it. Let me know if you want it in the comments below. And if you're new here, I don't just post about calisthenics. Most of my content is about self-discovery, building direction in life, and health and wellness stuff. So if that sounds like something you want more of, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with me. And if you want to know how you can transform yourself in your 20s, you'll probably love this video here. Check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.